On June 18, 2023, the tourist submersible Titan imploded while descending to the wreck of the RMS Titanic. Titan was a new type of submersible developed and operated by the company Oceangate. The unique design could fit 5 people instead of the 3 taken by all other submersibles. In order to accomplish this, a significant portion of Titan's pressure hull was comprised of a carbon fiber reinforced cylinder. It is the failure of this component that is currently believed to have been the cause of the disaster. Since the loss of Titan, a series of alleged text messages between the submersible and its surface support ship have been leaked on the internet. The text messages are intriguing and appear to offer important insight into the disaster, but are they real or fake? At first glance, the leaked text messages show a number of characteristics consistent with what is known about Titan's communications. A text message dialogue is the only correct form of communication from the submersible. Therefore, any audio or video files would have to be fake. Titan did not have voice communications with the surface. Instead, a text message system was used to communicate between the surface support ship and the submersible. The alleged text messages also show the surface ship checking in with Titan every 15 minutes, which was standard operating procedure. The final text message from Titan occurs 1 hour and 45 minutes into the dive, which matches the time stated by Oceangate for the last message received from the submersible. There are some differences between the format seen in the leaked text messages and this screen capture from an earlier mission. Most notably, the screen capture shows some messages using only capital letters and different titles for the support ship and submersible. These discrepancies can be explained away as Oceangate simply tweaking the text format sometime between the screen cap and the syncing. Additionally, the format may have been changed when copying the text messages. Further examination begins to show more significant discrepancies between what is known and the contents of the leaked text messages. Oceangate stated to the public that contact was lost with Titan after a routine status check at 1 hour and 45 minutes into the dive. However, the text messages show that contact was lost following approximately 20 minutes of dialogue regarding cracking sounds, alarms from Titan's real-time hull monitoring system, and subsequent attempts to drop ballast weights and surface. None of these details were announced to the public. Oceangate stated only that no further communications were heard from Titan following a routine status check at 1 hour and 45 minutes. If these text messages are real, then Oceangate chose to hold back a number of details surrounding the loss of contact with the submersible. It is plausible that this might have been done so that the crew's family members could be given the shocking details in private instead of hearing them from the news media. However, there are other details in the alleged text messages that cannot be so easily explained away. Most notably, issues involving the descent rates of the Titan. Titan normally required 2 to 2.5 hours in order to reach the bottom at 3,800 meters. This corresponds to a descent rate of 1,520 to 1,900 meters per hour. However, the descent rate deduced from the text messages falls well outside of this expected range. By using the stated depths and their corresponding timestamps, we can calculate the descent rate of the submersible, and it is here we encounter the first red flag. Titan's descent rate would have been 2,300 meters per hour. This is 21% faster than the expected upper limit of 1,900 meters per hour. At this rate of descent, Titan would reach Titanic in just 1 hour and 40 minutes. Further discrepancies arise in the last 20 minutes of Titan's text messages when the submersible begins to descend even faster. Examining the last 2 time and depth data points, we can see that the rate of descent increased from an average of 2,300 to 2,400 meters per hour. A text message from Titan notes the faster rate of descent and that using the submersible's thrusters has no effect in slowing its fall. This faster descent rate coincides with an alarm from the real-time hull monitoring system. Weight would somehow have to be added to the submersible in order to make it descend faster. The only way to increase the submersible's weight would be by flooding it with seawater. Yet no flooding is mentioned in any of the text messages. Finally, Oceangate waited more than 7 hours after losing contact with the Titan to notify the U.S. Coast Guard. If the text messages were real, this would mean Oceangate chose to delay asking for help even though they knew an emergency was underway. Waiting more than 7 hours after the start of an emergency to call for help makes no sense. Most likely, the last text message from Titan was a routine check-in at 1 hour and 45 minutes into the dive. Contact with the submersible was lost after this point. As losing contact with Titan was not uncommon, the submersible's loss did not become apparent until hours after the final text message. In conclusion, the text messages initially appear genuine since they follow Titan's known 15-minute check-in schedule. The final text message from Titan occurs at the 1 hour 45-minute mark, which is the stated time for the last message from the submersible. However, once we look at the descent rates of the Titan, the events start to appear fabricated. First, the average descent rate prior to the onset of trouble is 20% greater than expected. Second, the descent rate then increases further near the end of the dive. Unless the Titan experienced flooding, there is no other way for the submersible's rate of descent to increase. Flooding was never mentioned by the crew. Moreover, at that depth, any flooding would likely cause the immediate collapse of the pressure hull. Finally, if the text messages are real, then Oceangate waited more than 7 hours to call for help despite knowing that Titan had run into serious trouble. Given all of these discrepancies, the text messages are most likely fake. A number of alleged pictures, videos, and audio files of the Titan disaster have been released on the internet. These are most likely fake as well, since no live video feed was present inside or outside of the submersible when the implosion occurred. The U.S. Navy detected an acoustic event near the Titanic wreck site sometime after Titan's last text message, but no audio of this event has been released to the public. The Navy's audio recording of Titan's implosion is probably not much more than a muffled bang without the added screams and sound effects included in the fake audio recordings circulating on the internet. With every high-profile disaster, we see fake pictures, video, and text spread over the internet. However, applying a little bit of logic usually reveals the truth.